Good, and you have.
Hello, friends of Pyromania. My name is Abril Grago. On this occasion, we have again a luxury and a special guest, the incredible musician, multi-instrumentalist, composer, producer Michael Ciravolo from Beauty in Chaos. It's very exciting to be on interview with you once again. How are you?
Very good, and thank you. That's quite the introduction. I don't know if I live up to that, but thank you very much.
Yeah, that's cool. And well, you're releasing your new album, Dancing with Angels, right? Um, but this time you made a double album with new guest talents. How do you feel this connection of playing with these musicians? Tell us about more about this.
This whole idea of a remix thing happened after the first album. We came out with Finding Beauty in Chaos in 2018, and it was not through ego. I just wanted on that first record, I wanted to prove to myself I could do all the guitar and that we can make all these sounds without keyboards, we would get the sounds out the guitar. So I had met through Wayne Hussey, I'd met Tim Palmer, who's always been one of my favorite producers, and we sent him two songs to mix, and he sent them back, and he added keyboards and he added guitar. So there was no way I was going to tell one of my favorite producers, "Hey, the mix sounds great, but can you take your guitars and keyboards off?" So that gave Michael Rosen and I the idea of starting to do a remix album right after, which became Beauty Re-envisioned. So each of our albums that we've put out, the studio albums, after it, we've kind of given the tracks to different people to kind of do their interpretation of it. And for Dancing with Angels, we took those 8 songs and we gave them to a lot of different producers, artists, DJs, and they kind of had the opportunity to kind of take just the bare bones of the songs. Some of them changed a little bit, some of them changed a lot, and
Yeah.
it's kind of nice to get it back and hear someone else's interpretation, how they would paint that picture.
Yeah.
So that
Like,
turned into that, and it became a double CD because a lot of people did it, and it just kept growing and went, okay, it's not going to be one CD now. So I asked a few more people to give it enough to make two. So it's a long listen.
part of all want to be part of Beauty in Chaos.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing that it's grown to this, and I'm not bored of the remixes. I mean, I love the ones that have been stripped down, like Julian did a beautiful, complete rework of "Kiss Me Goodbye." Uh, Ashton did a beautiful acoustic version of "Made Her Rain." That he sent it to us, and we brought Whitney Ty in to add some vocals to it and a viola. So the songs really have a different life, and I like to think that if a song is good, it's going to work no matter what you put around it, and it's interesting to hear how other people view that.
Yeah, the other ideas, like you say, some acoustic version, even DJs, like,
Yeah, they'll change the drum beats. I mean, they have access to uh all the files. I mean, some people build up the music strictly from the vocal. Like the first song are uh present tense. Carlton, who's a friend of mine, Carlton Boast, and he plays with Berlin and Stabbing Westward and Orgy. Fantastic musician and guitar player. He just took the two vocal tracks and made this, changed everything around it. And it's great to hear, for me. So I still enjoy that.
yeah, and some songs you're going to put to dancing.
Yeah, I think there's quite a few on here that that will find a home in like some of the dark wave dance clubs. I think there's like five or six that I think we've sent out to some DJs, and I think that they do well in the clubs.
But even romantic style like acoustic versions,
Yeah,
maybe.
we're doing we are going to do a video next month for the we call Almost Acoustic Made of Rain with Ashton. He's flying out, and so we're making some plans of that. So I think we'll have two more videos of songs from this record, and I don't think Michael and I rest too much. We were actually in our studio last night working on new music that hopefully will be whatever the next thing Beauty and Chaos does. It's like the first stroke on a canvas, and it's really interesting. I listened to it. I was there to about midnight and got up this morning and went, I think we have something. So starting to rattle around in my head at what singer to approach for it.
That's nice. And talking about the videos, your first video single is a remix of two very important songs for a generation about 70s and 80s, songs that were and continue to be an anthem of rebellion. And you have given a refreshness for new generations and opened their minds to think for themselves. Tell us about this, or what you think about this.
It when I got the artwork when Marin my friend who did the covers for Dancing with Angels, she sent this one and it just stuck in my head it of being sort of the phrase signs in the heaven came to me and just that was inspired by seeing her paintings and then it's just the other phrase about reality being I think the world's a bit crazy right now. Uh,
Yeah, the world's
and
crazy now.
Yeah, I never want to. I was trying to be really clear. This is not a political statement because I
Yeah,
our country is so divided right now, like right down the middle, and families fight over politics, and it's it's kind of disgusting and in a way. And I think uh, what struck me is I do think uh, not just the United States media, but media kind of likes the idea of keeping people at odds, and there's usually money to be made in it. And again, I don't think just because I'm in a band or anything like that that my view should be your view. But I think what these two songs meant to me was just everybody, like
yeah,
citizens of the world open your eyes. You know, it's like look at that. Follow the money. War is money. Energy is money, and I think that's kind of I think as long as they could keep people fighting, people don't look at it, and it's a bit crazy that these songs were done in the 70s and 80s. And the Lords of the New Church song, I've always been a big fan of that band. I just thought that song, Open Your Eyes, See the Lies Right in Front of You, is is pushing 40 years old, over 40 years old, and we're still doing the same thing. We don't seem to learn from history.
yeah.
We seem to repeat it
We repeat the history.
over and at some I mean that song was written during like the Reagan eras where everything was United States versus the Soviet Union and the button's gonna come and you know at some point we're all gonna die in a mushroom cloud and to actually still hear that on the news today that they're talking about nuclear war is so
Terrible.
fucking stupid. It's like learn from it. And so that was I just felt that fit the title Reality Upside Down because it is upside down. If we can't just as people, we can have differences. We can have differences about religion. That doesn't make my God any better than your God, or if you don't believe in a God. But as people, there seem to be there's always that the elite or the powers that be, all this vague thing. It makes me it reminds me as a kid watching Wizard of Oz, where they finally go to the curtain and there's one guy sitting back there in the Wizard of Oz, uh, movie, which is I think from the 30s, if I'm not mistaken. And as so this one guy's controlling everything, and once you open the curtain and you put the light on it, it's suddenly not scary anymore. And I'm hoping I'm hoping just the words "open your eyes," uh, you know,
Yeah.
make people do that. And again, I'm not trying to go Democrat or Republican, left or right. It's just we're
Yes.
all share this one planet. I have kids that I don't want to grow up in this kind of world that's, people are making money by still having war. War is big business, and that kind of disgusts me. So that was my statement on that. We did that video, the two of them together. I thought they fit well. It was nice to get Al from Ministry back into it, and it just kind of it had. We went with this whole idea of rebellion, and again, not a call for violence, just a call for waking up.
Yeah.
So I think most people understand it. I haven't had many people right getting it wrong, like thinking that it's about politics or picking a side, hopefully. But it was
Yeah.
fun to do.
Because we need to wake up.
Yeah, I mean the lyrics, if people would read, especially the lyrics to Open Your Eyes, I mean the first line of that song is video games train the kids for war. And it does. It's like one of the most popular video games in the world is Call of
Yeah.
Duty. It makes war kind of antiseptic, like, oh, that's just you put a little button and it kind of takes it away that there are actually people dying at the other end. It's just a
Yeah.
game, but
Full of
it does make
violence.
it does make people desensitized to that. And I it's kind of strange when you read that song could have been written yesterday and still hold true.
Yeah. Well, this is so sad that the world is very difficult place to live in this epoca. And this the world is a difficult place this time.
Yeah, and it really it shouldn't be. We should be using technology for good, We should use technology to cure cancer. We should use technology to stop world hunger. I think what really I was asked like what made you finally want to say something? And I think it was my wife and I were coming back from a camping trip and we were in our motorhome and there was this military veteran on the side of the freeway that obviously had gone to, he was old enough that he could have been a Vietnam veteran. And here's this guy with this little dog. He still had his hat on, but begging for money. And it hit me in my stomach like, countries, and the United States isn't the only country that does it, but countries send their children to war, and
Yeah.
then they come back, and then they don't do anything, and it was like really sad. Like instead of spending money on another war, maybe we take care of these guys guys and women that have gone risk their lives under the guise of whatever, peace, fighting communism, fighting whatever they spin it that we're fighting. Maybe we should do that instead of getting in another war. And so that kind of made me finally open my mouth. It's not that I don't have an opinion, but I think there's so much of it that people get a little tired hearing somebody in the band talking about
Yeah.
it. I think music should be an escape, but I
Yeah.
think music does have a power that if people actually listen to the words, there are some artists that's with their lyrics say things that are a little more important than just, party and find girls or find guys, go to the club. I mean, that's fine. There's plenty of that, but something that actually, still has this
Maybe
timeliness.
it's something more spiritual or something.
Yeah, I hope. I mean, I think once people open your eyes and their eyes, you can kind of take you power away from the people that are pulling the strings on that. Uh, I hope, but that's why we did that. The next songs that we're doing will certainly be of lighter content. Uh, I just thought that was kind of a nice way, or at least an important way to close this record, to give it not just remixes, to add just those two songs, and then I think it fits in now. Hopefully, people will understand the title a bit more.
But well, in the video, it's very interesting. We can see symbolism very appropriated to the lyrics of these iconic bands, T-Rex and the Lord of the New Church. How did the visual creative idea arise?
About Dude, the video idea?
Aha,
I just thought, I mean, I had seen once Al from Ministry agreed to do it. I thought it would be a nice throwback to like the late 80s and early 90s version of Ministry because I've seen Ministry behind fences and and
yeah.
I think I had looked at a Nine Inch Nails video of well, it wasn't Gave Up. It was maybe it was Wish. One of the songs off of I think Broken or Downward Spiral that had the fencing. And I think even a Scorpions video, Rock You Like a
Ah,
Hurricane,
yeah, Rocky
which
like a
is
hurricane.
totally girls dancing and all. But I just thought that idea uh I knew we could maybe pull that off and make it a two-part video. And it was fun. It was great having friends come out and have a good time. I mean, it got a little crazy at the end with Michael Rozon, my partner, throwing the drums over and everything, but it was fun doing. And you know, I wanted to make it a two-part thing, almost like a little tiny mini movie. Uh, and the whole
Yeah,
idea that this revolution will be televised, that phrase came from like I forget the artist's name, but it was sort of a 60s era protest song. And it was in that the
yeah,
artist kept repeating the revolution will not be televised, meaning back then they kind of kept all that because there wasn't social media and everything. They
yeah,
only you only saw on TV what they wanted to see. Now, with the idea of changing that a little bit to the revolution will be televised, which Al says in the megaphone at the beginning, and both Tish and I had that on our guitars, was with social media and everything, if you do look and you kind of wade through the bullshit and the fake news and stuff that's AI, it is televised, so people can see everything. There isn't really that hiding. So that was kind of an important thing. And once I kind of figured out that would be a little piece, the rest of it kind of unfolded. And we had the Uncle Sam guy come out, play the saxophone.
yeah. I saw.
I think I had someone go, "Isn't that anti-American having the flag upside down?" And no,
Yeah,
I
so that.
I'm about as I'm I love my country. I want the United States to be the white hats. I want us to be the good people in the world. Sadly, I don't think that's always the case. And if people would really look, an upside down flag isn't anti-American. It just means country in distress. And
Yeah,
I do think there is a lot of truth to our country is in distress. There's a lot of division, and I do I do remain hopeful that there is more, that people do have more in common than differences. It's just like we got to get past the differences. And I think there is that thing of the media, everything is left or right, Democrat, Republican. You either
yeah,
love Trump or you hate Trump. You love Biden or you hate Biden. You want the war in Ukraine or it's just like it isn't that easy. It isn't this dividing line. It's not two teams playing each other, you know. Uh,
yeah,
when we do play each other, they whoever the hell they is win, and so that was the point of that. But again, at the end of the day, it was really fun to make. You know, to build a little set. Again, it was like making a little movie, and I got to sing a song again, and I got to jump around like an idiot and shake the fence.
that's very
So
cool.
there has to be some fun in doing, to me, I picked up the guitar because it was fun. And it's easy in this world, uh, the way music is now, the way people don't really look at music the way I did when I was a kid. Like it was a record was important. I
Yeah.
listened to everything. I bought the record. I don't think music is that way anymore. And I think the whole thing with artificial intelligence, AI, doing music now is like, again, repeating history. I mean, if people go back and look at Terminator, you shouldn't give a computer ultimate control. And I'm not talking about world destruction. I'm just talking about we shouldn't let a computer try to emulate an artist. An artist is supposed to be art. And to me,
Yeah.
real art comes from a heart, and a computer is not going to have that. They're just a
From
computer can
humans.
only copy a human. And
Yeah.
if some people are going to go, they copy it better, that's ridiculous. We didn't need that to have the Beatles or the Rolling Stones and then moving on to the next generation and the next generation. If we're not careful, we won't have that next Beatles or anything. I already worried that now we don't. It's it's kind of strange. You don't see if you look at whatever the chart is now, it is mostly a solo artist. It's usually somebody's name, and I think it's they don't feel like, or record companies or whatever don't feel like there needs to be a band anymore. It's just
Yeah.
pick a name, Joe Smith, and you put people around it and have computer make music, and you get a pretty boy or a sexy woman up there, and suddenly that's not Freddie Mercury,
That's not music.
that's not Mark Bolan, that's not sure hell not David Bowie or Prince. And again, there's a scene in Jurassic Park that I keep ringing in my head where they recreated the dinosaur, and one of the actors says,
Yeah.
"Just because you can made you not stop and think if you should." And I
Yeah.
think right now we're at this point that maybe we should think, yeah, just because a computer can make music, maybe it shouldn't. We can maybe make money because it's cheap, but maybe let's not do it. Let's let real artists survive. And yeah, that's another
Yeah.
another thing with the reality upside down, thinking that a computer is going to be David Bowie or a computer is going to write a longevity like Prince or bands that people are still listening to The Cure and Depeche Mode because that's real music. It's not in They're not going to be listening to whatever Beyonce or whatever crap we're being force fed that really is not from the heart.
Yeah.
And if I had a crystal ball right now and said, "Hey, do you want to look in here and see what music is like in 5 years?" I'd go, "No, I don't think I want to see it." I think I'm afraid that it's going to disappear fully. And that's really sad because I hate to think that I grew up. I mean, I'm quite a bit older than you. I hate to think that I grew up in the golden age of music, but I mean, I did. I got to see Led Zeppelin all the way through Nine Inch Nails and Depeche
Yeah.
Mode, The Cure, uh, and everything in between. I mean, that was great time in music.
Yeah. And talking about the robots, yes. Um, the album is available on platforms, but the physical format is limited to 100 copies. Is there a
101.
special?
I have the 101st
Ah,
one.
nice. Is there a special reason for only 100 copies?
Honestly, people don't buy physical music anymore. I mean, it's sad to me. I mean, beauty Beauty and Chaos is to me something real, it's personal, and everybody that's involved in it puts their heart and soul, but it is a limited audience. It's not, I think most people that are part of Beauty and Chaos are a little bit of an older generation and still value the idea of it being on
Yeah.
this or a vinyl. I think the younger generation, I mean, you're probably different. I mean, thank God there are people like you that still value music for what it says and what it makes you feel as instead of background. Just people don't buy it. And when my label, the little label that's doing it, I just said, let's do 100 CDs. I know it's a little more expensive, but I'd rather make it special than have a pile of CDs that no one's buying, you know. And I
Yeah,
hate to break music down to that, but it is expensive to do it. But I will, if as long as I'm doing Beauty and Chaos, it will always be available in a physical piece of music because I think it's more special when you get it this
yeah.
way and you open it and you know you
See the
read the
book.
word, read things, and I mean, I enjoy doing this part as much as the music. I mean, again, I thought Marin's artwork was beautiful. It opens up. We took the time. I know I'm opening this up on here, but we took the time to make each one look like a little vinyl. And I mean, to me, it's that's something special. I remember as a kid opening like Alice Cooper's School's Out, and it's like you open it up and it made a desk, or Billion Dollar Babies was a wallet, and it's like this thought that there's an art form to doing that, that's out the
Mhm.
window. To me, just going, oh, upload it to Spotify, eh, it's I don't know. It's cheapening it makes it much less art and it makes it more just a commodity. And
Yeah,
music shouldn't be a commodity. A soft drink's a commodity, not music.
yeah. Well, talking about the artist in this album, Al Jorgensen is an incredible artist who has made his ideologies clear. I think he looked great for this remix. Great for this remix. How did this collaboration come about?
What, I'm sorry, which artist did you say?
Al Jorgensen.
Oh, Al. Al, one of the first concerts when I first started dating, who became Tish, who's been part of Beauty and Chaos, my wife, one of the first concerts we went to was Ministry at Lollapalooza. Uh,
Yeah.
90s, probably before you were born. But and then years later, because I work at Schecter Guitar, the guitar company, I met Al that way, and we kind of became friends. He came to the studio. I'd asked him to do on our first record, he does 20th Century Boy. So he came in to do that at our studio. And him and my partner in Beauty and Chaos, Michael Rozon, hit it off really well. And Michael's actually has co-produced the last three Ministry records, and he's been working with them in that. So it became part of the family. It's like I think everything with Beauty and Chaos has kind of been it's happened natural. Usually it will be somebody will go, hey, you should meet this person. Like Mark Thwaite, who is a guitar player friend of mine that's been in the Mission, Peter Murphy, think he plays with the Wonder Stuff now, introduced me to Wayne Hussey, you know, who Wayne Hussey introduced me to Evie Vine, and then Mark also introduced me to Ashton Knight, and we Ashton and Wayne have become two of my best friends, and it just
Yeah.
kind of unfolds that way. So it's very, I guess the word is like organic, because I'm sure not calling someone and going, "Hey, do you want to be on this record? You're going to make a lot of money." Because no one's going to make a lot of money. No one's going to make any money. But I think the beauty is that no one cares. No one's ever went, well, how much am I going to make for doing that? It's never, it's, that's the beauty that it's not about finances. It's about making something beautiful. I think, so at the end of the day, I think if everybody that's part of this project, because
Yeah.
I hate that word, but I don't know what else to call it, is proud of what we've done, I'm happy, you know, and it's amazing to me that this is kind of gone. It could have been one record. We could have just did that one record in 2018. I got to play with some people that I consider that have most of my record collection. Man, I had Simon from The Cure, Robin. I mean, not throwing names, but it's like I could have did that and been happy, like, you know, been in my old age. Look what your dad did.
Mhm.
But it turned into something way bigger than I thought it would turn. And I
Yeah.
think that's kind of divine intervention or it just it happened. And I think that's the best music is that it just happens. We're not trying to be anything. It's how the music comes out. I think if you look at that video we just did, it's way different than the one prior, Echoes and Angels, which was way different than Made of Rain. And you keep going back. And I love the idea of uh, you can't really put Beauty and Chaos in a category.
Yeah.
And I think Michael and I work really hard to kind of make it where you can't slap a label because you can't say we're goth. You can't say we're rock. We're not shoegaze. We're kind of, I don't know. It's what happens when I pick up a guitar and he gets behind the board and we have a glass of wine and it just kind of
Mhm.
comes out.
Yeah. But how do you see Beauty in Chaos in 10 years?
I do look far ahead. I don't know if I look 10 years ahead. Uh, Right now, it's the short term. It's one video is in the work, and then the one that I was telling you about with Ashton and Whitney is planned and will happen. We're starting a new record. I'd love to have some new music from Beauty and Chaos before the end of the year. Uh, and I still in the back of my head something doing this going,
And
play
maybe
play a
playing in
show.
Mexico?
Do do it. If I was to do one show, I would pick Mexico, and I mean that from my bottom of my heart. Everything I've done there with Human Drama and Gene Loves Jezebel, the people of Mexico have just been real. I guess that's the best word I could put. Music still means something. It's like I get to see people that maybe English is their second language, but it's still connecting to them.
Yeah.
That I think is what music should be. It should break down boundaries. And I if I did it one place, I'd love it to be Mexico City. I've just met some great people that have stayed
Nice.
friends and just have had uh, a beautiful time there. You live in Guadalajara, right?
Guadalajara?
Well, I've done I think I've played there twice with Human Drama and then
Yeah.
with Gene Loves Jezebel when we did the shows with the Mission, and both times were great. I mean, and I mean that. I wouldn't if I was talking to someone from Switzerland, I wouldn't go, I'd love to play there. I truly love playing in Mexico City. It's it's nothing like Los Angeles where people are just, hey, impress me. That's such bullshit. I
Yeah.
mean, I watch that. I hardly see any cell phones in the air. It's like, here you at a show, it's like people are doing that. It's like, how the fuck are you watching a show with your phone? It's
Enjoy
like,
the show.
yeah, you're gonna watch it later? Are you more important to post it or to actually experience? And I don't
Yeah.
see that in Mexico. One or two, but it's like there's a connection with
Yeah.
eyes, heart, mind and that I think is rare.
Yeah.
So
Well, talking about music industry, do you think there will be new artists who will go past to the history, like legends like David Bowie, Alice Cooper?
I don't know, I mean, I see glimpses of talent. Uh, you know, I think like PJ Harvey, I think has some longevity. I love the band Sigur Rós. Uh, it's
Yeah.
like these bands are doing something different. I mean, I know I'm talking about older bands. It's like I love the new Cure record. I mean, that band's 40 plus years old and they're still doing it. As far as something new, maybe I'm guilty of not looking. I tried to see like what Billie Eilish was gonna do. I thought that was kind of cool that it was very minimalistic, and then now it I don't know, it blows up into something, and I think the integrity goes out the window. I mean, I would hope so. I hope there's a good way for bands to use technology, like to be able to make music, but really make music, not
Yeah.
depend on the machinery or something like that. I hope so. I don't know. It's a different world.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, people's attention span doesn't seem to be the same. And I think that's because they're bombarded with 500 TV channels or, Spotify. It's like music is easy now. Like, again, dating myself, if I wanted to hear something, it either had to come on the radio or I had to have physically gone, earned money, went to a store and got it and have it. Now it's just like on this thing that I could pull up any song, anything. And
Yeah.
I
It's
kind
great.
of I watched Tish and I have daughters that are in their mid 20s, early 20s, and I've watched that. I would ride in the car with my youngest daughter, and she loves music, has a really eclectic taste. She'll listen from jazz to Depeche Mode, and just it's like crazy. But she had something on, and I could see she's driving and she's really liking the song. And then halfway through, she switched it. So I went, well, did you like that artist or that band? Did you like the song? Yeah, I love it. Then I'm like, why'd you change it? She goes, oh, I saw what was coming up next. So
Yeah.
it's like, I don't even think that people seem to be trained that there's so much. It's like if you were sitting in a restaurant and there was everything you could possibly eat.
Yeah.
I think you take a little bite and not. I don't know. It's foreign to me, and I don't know. I don't think we are ever going to really reel that back to where someone, will listen to something like the same way I listened to Disintegration when I was a kid. I rarely put that album on and never skipped a song, but I usually made sure I had 20 minutes to sit down and at least listen to the one side uninterrupted. And I think when we talked about Dancing with Angels last time you and I got to speak, it was my wish that I mean, that's why I put all those little pieces in between. I had this probably false hope and that someone would actually devote 76 minutes to go, please, if you could add one thing, if you had all like what we do, listen to this record one time, top to bottom, just uninterrupted. No phone, no TV on, no while you're
Just
eating.
listen.
Sit and just listen. And I
Yeah.
think a few people have, but that's not today's world.
Yeah. Well, the time is short in Zoom, and we have to finish it.
I know I rambled, but I appreciate you listen. These
Thank
were
you very
important topics.
Thank you very much for this interview, for sharing your music, your experience, your ideas. We wish you much successful and thank you.